What's going on, everybody? It's Mitsuni Nico. Welcome back to another video. And how is everybody's day going? And I just want to make this video and talk about the current state of gaming right now in 2023. Now, I've been finding myself just mainly sticking to indie titles for the most part for I would say about 2 years now. Ever since I got me a laptop to play games on, I've mostly been just sticking to indie titles and emulation in order to play old games, because the current state of gaming, especially AAA gaming, has just been getting a lot worse in a lot of aspects, mainly in just delivering a complete product that's not either a broken, buggy mess or just completely crappy upon release. Despite what all these critics and reviews will say sometimes about games like even The Last of Us 2, which I don't even want to get into that situation, okay? That if you enjoy that game, that's great and all, but it was honestly, for the most part, can we at least admit that it was a disappointing sequel to possibly one of the best zombie stories in gaming? Now, I'm sure you've all heard of the situation with Redfall, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Hell, I'm pretty sure we all know about Cyberpunk 2077, and especially fucking No Man's Sky, and just many other AAA games that have been disappointing at launch, or just in general after they got released. The whole Cyberpunk 2077 situation was so fucking bad that it had to get taken off of PlayStation stores, and they had to constantly update this game since it dropped in order to make it at the very least playable. Like, it was, not only was it just completely buggy and broken upon launch, but that shit couldn't even run on consoles. Like, the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, it could not run well on them. And PC wasn't doing exactly all that well either. And then, let's not even get into the gameplay aspect, which was not even close to what was marketed back when it showed us the tech demos and stuff in the previews. Then there was No Man's Sky, that boring mess. There was Sea of Thieves, and it's just been getting a lot worse. Now we're in 2023 with games like Star Wars Jedi Survivor, okay, that can't even run on a fucking RTX 4090 at 60 frames or above. Like, I saw Mudahar's video where the shit was running at 30, 24, 40 frames on his RTX 4090, okay? I saw SkillUp's video where that shit wasn't running right. It had bugs and glitches and stuff. Okay, I saw Moist Critical's video on Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I've seen multiple articles talking about it. And then there's Redfall, okay, by the studio who made possibly the greatest System Shock successor ever made. Like, literally, it feels like System Shock 3 just without Shodan. Prey 2017. Okay, Arcane Studios made some phenomenal games. They've made Dark Messiah, okay? They've made Dishonored. They've made Prey 2017. I don't know how the fuck they went from Deathloop and Redfall from Prey 2017 and Dishonored. Like, how do you go from such an amazing but underlooked game like Prey to something like Deathloop, and especially Redfall, which is just even completely worse? At least Deathloop was completely playable upon release, no matter how boring the game was to a lot of people. And even though it got 10 out of 10 reviews for some reason by multiple critics, even though that game is far from 10 out of 10, okay, at least you could finish that game. At least it was a complete package. Redfall is a broken, buggy fucking mess, okay? And the gameplay is completely shallow. The AI sucks. All of that, like, there's barely any content in the open world. For some reason, every fucking game nowadays wants to be open world for some reason. I don't get this. Now, there have been many games that benefited from going open world, like Elden Ring and Breath of the Wild, and now we have Tears of the Kingdom coming out, okay? But games like Redfall, fucking Cyberpunk 2077, okay, these games, they completely suck, and their open world is barren as hell. Redfall doesn't even look good. At least Cyberpunk 2077 looks kind of good. The cyberpunkish aesthetic is amazing, okay? The art style is actually pretty good once they got done patching everything so it can actually look right. Redfall doesn't even look like a 2023 game, okay? This is why I don't like AAA games that much anymore. I only play a few. Excuse me. Okay? I have games like God of War Ragnarok, okay? I'm trying to get Dead Island 2. That game looks like it's an absolute fucking blast to play. I'm a huge fan of Dead Island. We live in a world where zombie games like Dead Island 2 look more complete than a game by a studio who made possibly the best spiritual successor to System Shock ever. Okay? We're living in a world where a zombie game that's just mindless, dumb fun, where you run around the map slashing zombies and making different types of weapons and mods and stuff, looks more complete than an Arcane Studio game, than a Bethesda game, than a fucking Respawn game, okay? And this isn't to knock Star Wars Jedi Survivor, because it actually does look like a pretty good game, like the first one. I own the first one. I haven't exactly played it yet, but I am a little bit of a fan of Star Wars. And Jedi Survivor does look really good, but like, I'm not buying that game for $70. I'm probably not even going to buy it once it hits $30. I'm going to wait until this game gets patched or whatever, because there's no way a game like this should run at 40 FPS on an RTX 4090. Like, what the fuck? That's the most powerful graphics card right now. One of the most. Okay? And you're trying to tell me, even when you turn the settings down to low, when you turn them down to like medium, and as well when you turn off ray tracing, all of that, turn the shadows, the quality, the texture, all of that down to low or medium, it still cannot hit 60 FPS. Okay? Like, that is absolutely ridiculous to me. Now, I wanted to make this video because the current state of just AAA gaming is completely awful. We are dealing with microtransactions, loot boxes, and all this other crap, battle passes in games that first and foremost should be a complete package before they come out. It happened with Halo Infinite. Now that game is dead. That game is done, okay? And it's supposed to be supported for the next 10 years, okay? We're not getting another Halo until then, apparently, from Microsoft. And that game completely dropped the fucking ball when it came out. At first, we all thought it was going to be okay. The roadmap was coming. They're going to put in new stuff, forge, new maps, weapons, all of that. Where is all of this stuff at, okay? They were slowly drip feeding us content for months and months to come since the game came out, okay? It happened with Cyberpunk 2077. It happened with No Man's Sky, okay? Like, I don't get this, man. I don't get this. Or let's get into the fact, you know, that some devs nowadays will make their games open world as an attempt to flesh out the world or load it with content, you know, quote unquote, by just stuffing random fucking side quests and NPCs in there that do nothing to enhance the experience. It's the same fetch quest or whatever that you just go on. Or God forbid it's a freaking trailing quest or a rescue mission or something. I don't get this. This is why I find myself resorting to like indie titles or like emulation, because recently I've been playing a lot of indie games, okay? Like a lot of them. Like Little Witch No Beta, freaking Cuphead, plenty of other games. I've been playing games from like Team Ninja. Like recently, I played the Ninja Gaiden the Master Collection for PC. I had a hell of a time playing that game, okay? I find myself coming back to games like Neo 2, which is what I am playing through recently again after beating that game for like the 3rd time. And I never get tired of games like this, like Neo 2. Okay, I go to games from like Atlas, Persona, the Shin Megami Tensei series, Digital Devil Survivor, just JRPGs or like Metroidvanias or like other indie titles. Plenty of games like that in the indie space on Steam and stuff, because AAA gaming nowadays, there's not even really that many exclusives, first of all, on these platforms to play on, like Xbox and PlayStation 5. There's not even that many exclusives, and the few exclusives that are there, you know, maybe they're worth like $60 or so, but there's no way I'm shilling out 70, 80, 100 or so fucking dollars if you live in like Australia or something just to play these games. That's not happening. And like, I bought God of War Ragnarok, and I'm having a hell of a good time with that. But like, that's like the only PlayStation 5 exclusive that and even then, it's not even really an exclusive because you can get it on PS4 as well and PS4 Pro. But like, there's realistically only 2 PlayStation 5 exclusives. Like, Not even on PS4, nothing. There's literally only 2 PS5 exclusives. Unless you count the built-in game Astro's Playroom. But then again, who's really going to sit there and fucking go through that? The game takes like 2 or 3 hours to complete. And it's not like some groundbreaking technical masterpiece. There's literally only 2 PS5 exclusives. Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart, and Demon Souls. That's it. As far as I know, freaking, what was it? Returnal? I think that's on PS4 as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe there's like, okay, maybe Returnal is on PS5. But even then, this generation of gaming, like AAA gaming itself, it's either like broken, buggy messes upon release. There's not that many exclusives, so there's not really any reason to go out and get a console like that unless you have the money to toss at it and you don't want to get like some high-end PC, but you need something that can still run games at like 60 FPS, 4K, and even ray tracing, because that's another great thing about this generation, though, is that we do have consoles that have ray tracing performance now. But like, there's not really too much of an incentive to go out and buy these systems. The PlayStation 5 and especially the Series consoles. Like, there's literally no Xbox exclusives as far as I know, except maybe Forza Horizon, that's it. Maybe, unless that's on PC as well, through Game Pass or whatever. Halo Infinite, freaking 343's, 343's next big fucking title that dropped is literally on PC as well. You can get it through Game Pass. There is literally no reason to truthfully go out and buy a Series console like an S or an X, except the S is very cheap and it can run a lot of games at like 60 or so. And if you don't want to get like a PS5 or like a high-end PC, you can go out and buy that. But like, I don't know, man. It's honestly ridiculous to me. I find myself delving deeper into like older games and stuff through emulation or just going through indie titles. Recently, I just bought the first Trails game, which is a series that I'm about to get into. That's a new thing that I just discovered, the Trails series or franchise. I bought the first Trails game on Steam just the other day for $10 damn. And it's a very old game. I think it came out in like 2004. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be one hell of a time. I absolutely love JRPGs, but this is the thing, though, is I find myself resorting back to older games a lot more, or just delving into like indie stuff instead of just checking out what's new. Literally, there's only 3 new games that I'm even remotely excited for at the moment. And they're all already out. There is no new releases that are dropping that I'm excited for anymore. I'm not excited for Elder Scrolls 6. I'm not excited for fucking Starfield. I'm not excited if there's going to be a new Gears game or whatever. Okay? Literally, the only games that I'm excited for that I still haven't got yet is RE4 Remake, the Dead Space Remake, and Dead Island 2. That's it. Because the AAA sphere has just been completely fucking disappointing for the last few generations already. Since the beginning of the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One era. It's been disappointing, okay? Like, it's absolutely baffling. And then these companies, they get away with this shit, okay? Activision, EA, Microsoft, fucking Bethesda. They get away with this stuff because to the average consumer, of course, these things don't really matter that much to them. They just want to pick a game, buy it, and have to go on, have a blast, have fun with some friends and family or whatever, They don't really delve deep into the stuff like a lot of us gamers do, or have the same passion for this stuff about having a complete, product upon release. And not being completely fucking dicked around with like some crappy PC port or just a buggy, unfinished, broken mess of a product for $70 damn now. Because yeah, the price of gaming has gone up. And it's absolutely ridiculous to me that they expect us to pay $70 damn for games this generation. But they can't give us a complete product. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Redfall, Cyberpunk 2077, No Man's Sky. 2 of those games redeemed themselves, but even then, it shouldn't even have to be the case. It shouldn't take months down the line or years down the line for you to completely fix up your fucking game. And now it's worth, maybe the price tag that you had placed on it. Or, now it's worthy of being picked up and tried out. Because by then, there's probably already games in that same genre that you were just trying to, like, make a game from. There's probably already games later on down the line that did better than what you did in the same genre. And now those ones, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, well, why would I go play this game now that it's fixed when there's others just like it that were not only complete upon release, okay, they had a great port, and they're full of content, and they're fun and amazing to play. They're innovating and pushing the envelope of what gaming is supposed to be. I just don't get this, man. I don't get it. And then like these big companies and these devs, they get away with this stuff, you know. I don't know, man. I'm just so disappointed in like gaming in 2023. Okay? Like gaming is one of my biggest passions and everything. It's something that I love to do a lot. Okay? I have a huge passion for games and just gaming in general. I see this stuff as like a medium, like an art form to an extent. Okay? Games like System Shock 2, BioShock 1, BioShock 2, BioShock Infinite, Deus Ex Human Revolution, Persona 3, Persona 5, Final Fantasy 6, so many other games. Bayonetta. Even Bayonetta 3 was complete and amazing upon release. Okay? That's another game. The Metroid series, like these games like these, Legend of Zelda, Super Mario, never disappointed me at all. I have never been disappointed with games like these. I find myself coming back to a lot of them too because games nowadays, they're hit or miss. To me, it kind of feels like video gaming itself in the AAA sphere is like a fucking loot box now, because now it's like, well, what are you going to get in store when you go and buy this game right here from a AAA dev? Is it going to be completely broken upon release, or is it actually going to be something that's going to be a blast to play? Who knows? You have to wait and find out. Just dish out the money and go see if it actually works. Anyway, I kind of just wanted to rant a little bit, to get on the mic and just talk about how ridiculous gaming in 2023 is, and like the AAA sphere and just in general, man. Like stuff like this should not be acceptable at all. And then like there's people out there who will say, well, it's Activision or it's EA or it's Bethesda. What did you expect? You know? Well, I expected a quality fucking product. Sure, EA is known as one of the worst, if not the worst, gaming company in history. But keep in mind, we just got the Dead Space remake. We got the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Before that, we got Star Wars Squadrons. We got Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. So, and keep in mind, Respawn and EA Motive are like the only two good companies under EA's belt. That's not an excuse for why Star Wars Jedi Survivor is this completely fucked upon release. Not just on PC, but on the consoles as well. But even then, you're getting a better performance on the console somehow than on the PC platform. This is another thing too with broken PC ports. Like, it's like the devs just do not give a shit about porting their games to PC properly. They did it with The Last of Us. One, they freaking put the game on PC. It was a completely broken, fucking buggy mess. Okay? With Cyberpunk, it happened as well. Not just on consoles, too. I don't know, man. Anyway, this is me with Nika. Just very upset with the state of gaming in 2023. And I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out. Absolutely fucking crazy. Emulation it is, people. Emulation it is.